So this is a continuation of our lesson from last week. So last week, we already established what a typhoon is, and we already established how a typhoon is affected by bodies of water at saka landmass. So we said that majority of typhoons are actually formed in the Pacific Ocean. And the reason why it is formed in the Pacific Ocean is because that area, yung Pacific Ocean, it is located near the equator. And areas near the equator always receive a lot of heat coming from the sun. So they receive a lot of sunlight, they receive direct light coming from the sun. Therefore, it receives most of the heat coming from the sun. And because of the Pacific Ocean being the largest ocean in the world, and all of the heat is being received in this area, so it means that there's a lot of water vapor forming. So sabi nga ni Kuya Mavin last time, there's a lot of evaporation that is happening in the Pacific Ocean. And all of the water vapor, they accumulate and they form what we call as typhoon. And because we are near the Pacific Ocean, it means that majority of the typhoons actually reach our country. Tayo yung dinadaanan ng mga bagyo. That's why in our country, we experience more than 23 typhoons in a year. Dumarating tayo doon sa point na nakakarating na siya sa letter day, umuulit pa ulit siya ng letter A, B, and C before mag-end yung taon. You may not notice around 23 or 26 typhoons in a year kasi hindi naman lahat nagla-landfall sa atin sa Luzon. So some of these typhoons, hindi natin nararamdaman because they are in the Mindanao part, they are in the Visayas part, or some of these typhoons are actually just very very weak, signal number 1 lang, ganyan. So hindi natin masyadong ramdam. But in the records of Pag-asa, we reach an average of 23 to 30 typhoons in a year. So ganun karami yung dumadaan na bagyo sa atin. So before we continue with our lesson, can I ask someone kung sino ang nakakatanda ng meaning ng pag-asa? Natawa ulit si Benjamin. Nung nakaraan, nag-pass na sa dyan. So ang sumagot sa atin ay si Ira at saka si Missy. So can anybody tell me? Oh, ayan, si Ira ulit, raise her hand. Ira, what is pag-asa?
Chair, Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical, and Astronomical Services Administration.
Thank you very much. Ayan, so si Ira ulit ang nagbigay sa atin ng meaning ng pag-asa for this week. Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical, Astronomical Services Administration. So sila yung nagre-record of ng mga information about typhoons, ano yung nabubuong typhoon in the Pacific Ocean, which of these typhoons actually enter our area of responsibility, how strong they are, when are we expecting for this typhoon to make its landfall, when can we expect for it to leave our area of responsibility. And then last week, we also learned about the different public storm warning signals. So we have 5. Public storm signal number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yung 5 being the super typhoon. We also learned yung speed nitong mga typhoon na to, and we also learned how much damage they can do to the environment, to the infrastructures, and of course, to the people. So now let's continue our discussion. And before we start our discussion, we have 2 essential questions, okay? So number 1, how can we mitigate the risk of a typhoon? And number 2, how can we prepare ourselves in case of a typhoon? So these are our essential questions. At the end of our lesson, you are expected to answer these essential questions. Before we start with the lesson, what do we mean when we say the word mitigate? Okay, nakita nyo na yan last time nung nagpagawa tayo ng activity about earthquake. But what is mitigation or what is mitigate? So when we say mitigate, ibig sabihin, we are lowering down the risk, or we are lowering down yung kanyang destruction. So when we say mitigate, how do we prevent yung risk of a typhoon? So how do we prevent yung mga casualties, yung mga injuries na nangyayari that is associated with typhoons? Okay? So it in common or in an easier word, it means to cause less harm. Okay? So paano natin maiiwasan yung destruction ng isang typhoon? And Philippines, being a country that always experiences typhoon, dapat alam na natin to. Dapat sa ulo na natin, ano nga ba yung mga dapat at hindi dapat gawin before, during, and after a typhoon. And number 2, the essential question is, how are we or how can we prepare ourselves in case of a typhoon? So last time, na-mention ko na to na kahit gaano kayaman ng bansa, di ba? Kapag merong natural disaster such as a typhoon, hindi kakayanin ng iisang agency lang or ng limited na tao lang na i-save lahat. So it is a part of our social responsibility to know what to do in case of these natural disasters para tayo mismo alam natin yung gagawin. Kaya nating makatulong sa ibang tao in case of these natural disasters at hindi na tayo parte dun sa poproblemahin pa ng ating gobyerno. So we have the National Disaster Risk Reduction Council or the NDRRC. Siyempre, meron niyang mga local versions. We have the Municipal Disaster Risk Reduction Office, MDRRMO. So sila yung in charge in case of these natural disasters. Pero kahit na gaano sila ka-prepared, kung yung mismong tao, tayo mismo hindi prepared, then mas mahirap mapababa yung magiging casualty or yung mahihirapan silang i-mitigate yung risk ng typhoon. So as part of a community, it is our responsibility to know and to be aware of these natural disasters and to be knowledgeable on what to do during this natural disaster. So that is our focus for today. Okay? So one of the things that you have to remember when in terms of natural disasters is that they are natural. Some of them we can predict. For example, typhoons, pwede nating i-predict kailan yung landfall niya. But when it comes to other natural disasters such as yung earthquake, wala tayong means to predict when and where they will happen. So, ang pinakamagandang gawin natin is that we always have to be prepared. And part of being prepared is having what we call as an emergency go bag. For some people, they call it the survival kit. For some people, they call it the emergency go bag. Okay, so no matter what you call it, regardless if it is an emergency go bag or if you call it as your survival kit, basically they all contain the same thing. So these are what should be inside your go bag. So this is the basic. So dapat meron kayo nito. Of course, number 1 is your water. Why do you have to bring water? Usually, ang kanilang ratio when it comes to water is 1 gallon per person. So kung sa inyong family, you are 4 members, dapat meron kayong at least 4 gallons of water. So bakit kailangan ng water? Because this is in anticipation doon sa isang situation where you don't have access to drinkable or potable water. So for example, what happened in Yolanda? In Yolanda, 4 a.m. naglandfall sa Yolanda or 2 a.m. naglandfall sa Yolanda. By lunch, nung araw na yon, everything was destroyed. So wala silang electricity, they don't have source for clean water. Tapos, walang makapasok sa Tacloban because even the airports were destroyed. So for how many days? I think 2 or 3 days, they were stranded in that area without any source of water. They are waiting for help to come pero hindi nakarating ng maaga yung mga tutulong sa kanila because everything else was destroyed. So walang makapasok sa Tacloban. So anong gagawin nila? Hindi sila naka-prepare. So there is a possibility of a situation na wala kayong source of water. So to be prepared, sabi niya dito, 1 gallon per person for at least 3 days. Okay? So kung hindi man kayo makapagdala ng 1 gallon per person, at least meron kayong source of water, tapos meron kayong means to clean the water. For example, may mga purifying tablets that are available sa mga drugstores. Yung purifying tablets, ibig sabihin nun, ilalagay mo siya sa water, tapos you have to wait, I think, 30 minutes for the tablet to completely purify the water before you can actually drink it. So at least yon, kahit anong water na mukhang malinis, pwede mong inumin basta meron kang purifying tablet. Okay? So, number 1 is water. Number 2 is food. You have to bring food. Now, ang laging nakikita ko sa go bag is that meron sila yung mga, anong tawag dito? Noodles at saka yung mga canned goods. Now, canned goods are okay. Pero yung noodles, hindi siya okay. Kasi you have to anticipate na maaaring yung situation, wala kang means to cook the noodles. So, mas okay na yung mga canned goods na ready to eat. At saka yung canned goods kasi hindi siya madaling masira. Canned goods also, they have water inside doon sa mga naka-canned goods. So, at least, hindi ka man masyadong makainom ng tubig, at least coming from the food that you are eating, meron pa rin nakukuha yung katawan mo na source of water. Other than canned goods, mas okay na maglagay ng mga energy bars inside your go bag. So yung protein bars or energy bars, non-perishable food din yan. Hindi siya madaling nasira, hindi siya madaling mabulok. It can last for a year. So okay lang din yon. At least dun sa energy bars, maliliit lang siyang ganyan, but it can give you the nutrients, the amount of calories and the nutrients that your body needs. So hindi man siya ganun na nakakabusog sa pakiramdam, pero at least it is packed with all of the nutrients that you need. So mas okay yung canned goods at saka mga energy bars compared dun sa mga perishable food at saka yung mga noodles na hindi mo sure if you can actually cook it during a disaster. Kasi you don't know kung ano yung extent ng destruction, if it's just minor or talagang major destruction siya. Next, if you have radios at home, yung mga push-to-talk, PTT na mga radio, yung nakikita ninyo for some police officers or for some military, tsaka yung mga members of the barangay, sometimes they're using yung mga push-to-talk na radio na yan. Importante siya because it allows you to communicate over certain distances, depende dun sa capability ng radio mo. So, battery-powered radios are important because you can use it for communication, to ask help, or to keep yourself updated on the situation. Of course, you need flashlight, but make sure na yung flashlight ninyo ay may battery, or yung flashlight ninyo, if it is rechargeable, kailangan i-recharge nyo na siya. So usually, ito yung mga piniprepare natin pagka nababalitaan natin may paparating na bagyo. We make sure na yung mga flashlight natin naka-charge or may battery, tapos we make sure na may mga kandila sa bahay in case na mawalan ng kuryente. Okay? Of course, you need first aid kit. Inside your first aid kit, what you need is yung basic na panglinis ng sugat. For example, iodine solution, some cotton balls, tapos band-aids or bandages in case na malaki yung sugat. Okay, hindi naman pwedeng i-band-aid natin kung malaki yung sugat. So you need bandages. And then of course, basic medicine such as paracetamol for fever, for headache, at saka yung may mga special medication. For example, may asthma ka, so kailangan merong medication for asthma doon sa loob ng first aid kit ninyo. Pero kung wala, yung mga basic lang for diarrhea, paracetamol for fever, at saka body pains and headache, yung mga ganyan. Okay? Extra batteries, that you can use for your flashlight. Whistle, napaka-importante niyan. I know some of you might think na hindi siya importante, but actually, if you watch Titanic, nabuhay si Rose because of a whistle. So if you watch the movie Titanic, di ba, she was the only one doon and she was surrounded by people who are already dead, frozen dead. And may dumaan na boat who are looking for survivors. She lost her voice because she's exhausted at saka sobrang lamig ng water. So she cannot shout for help. So what she did is yung signal that is attached, not signal, whistle that was attached doon sa kanyang life jacket. So because of the whistle, nalaman nila that there is a survivor there. So naligtas siya. Okay? Dust mask, because this is a basic, so we are anticipating any kind of disaster. So in case of volcanic eruption, a dust mask would be helpful. Lalo na nung last year, January, when yung sa may Batangas exploded, yung volcano doon, until dito sa atin, umabot yung kanyang ashfall. So to protect yourself, you need a simple dust mask. Ito yung kulay puti na dust mask, hindi yung kulay blue. Okay? And then plastic sheeting and duct tape. So this plastic sheeting and duct tape you can use to create a makeshift shelter for you. And you can also use the plastic sheeting to keep yourself warm. Familiar dito yung mga athletes, yan sila Kyla at saka sila Ate Cylene dati, if you will remember, Marvin, when they were trying to lose weight, what they will do is they will, di ba, they will wrap their bodies in plastic sa loob ng damit, tapos saka sila mag-exercise because plastic can help your body keep warm. So other than using it for a makeshift na shelter, you can actually use it to keep your body temperature high. And then of course, towels, garbage bags, at saka yung mga ziplock na plastic para yung mga gamit sa loob, if it's in a ziplock, at least kahit paano waterproof siya, hindi siya basta-basta papasukin ng tubig. And yung iba, they allow itong mga pliers or wrench to help you go, parang get out in case na lock ka or natabunan ka, at least you can use it to get yourself out of it. Hindi na updated to. Yung manual can opener, hindi na siya masyadong, anong tawag dito, suggested kasi meron naman na tayong mga easy open cans. Pero i-double check nyo din kung yung mga canned goods na nilagay ninyo sa go bag ninyo, if it is easy open or not. Kapag hindi siya easy open, then you really need to have a can opener. Pero usually yung mga yan, yung parang mga Swiss knife, yung multi-purposes, you can use it as a knife, you can use it to open cans, you can use it for other purposes. And then of course, your cell phone, it has to be charged and it has to have yung backup battery. Ito yung hindi ko nakikita sa inyo. Usually, pag may paparating na bagyo, lagi kayong nasa cellphone ninyo tapos hindi ninyo double check if it has enough batteries or not. Kasi yun yung source of entertainment ninyo. Hanggang sa pag nawalan na ng kuryente, hindi na ninyo na-check if it has sufficient battery power or not. So hanggang sa maubos na lang yan, hindi na ninyo chine-check. Pero usually dapat, pag may mga paparating na natural disaster, make sure that your phones are fully charged or it has ample battery power. Kasi you can use it for updating at saka you use it for communicating. So, hindi siya dapat ma-empty battery. Okay? Next, let's go to the next. Additional emergency supplies. So, because they are additional, ibig sabihin, you can put it there if you still have space. Pero if not, okay lang kahit wala. You have to make sure na yung go bag kasi is something that you can carry. Usually, ang inaano nila is around 2 to 3 kilos lang dapat yung bigat ng isang go bag per person. Kasi in case na you need to move or evacuate, it has to be something na carryable. Kaya mong ilagay sa likod mo at kaya mong bit-bitin kahit saan ka magpunta. So, hindi suggested na ang dami mong nilagay tapos hindi mo naman na siya kayang bit-bitin. So, ang suggested nila is around 2 to 3 kilos per person. So, kung meron kayong 3 or 4 na able people in your household, yung kayang magbit-bit. Siyempre, wag mong pabit-bitin yung mga sobrang bata or babies, yung mga kaya lang. So, ibig sabihin, kaya nyong magbit-bit ng 4 na go bags. So, meron kayong around 8 to how many 15 kilos na kakayanin yung bit-bitin. So, it has to be distributed doon sa mga members of the household. So, again, you need, if you have space, please ensure na meron kayong means to clean and to sanitize yourself, such as yung soap, hand sanitizer, disinfecting wipes, yan. Pero kung hindi na talaga kakayanin nung space, okay lang din naman na wala na yan. Prescription medication, ayan. Nakasulat doon, may first aid kit, pero yung iba may mga prescription medication, so make sure na nandoon yan. Ang example ko yung sa asthma, okay? So, wait lang. Mag-i-end ang aking meeting room. Please rejoin